All right, everyone, we should be live. Let's make sure that's actually the case. Over on Rumble, of course. Yes, indeed. Full news day. Cheatle just resigned. Breaking news. Jimmy Carter is not, by the way, actually dead. That is, in fact, a hoax. He's still alive and well. Well, alive at least. He's 99 fucking years old. At this point, with the death pool, it's mainly, does Jimmy Carter or Joe Biden go first? He's supposedly going to address the nation tomorrow. It's I don't know if it's going to be audio or video, or whether it's even going to be him or a carefully trained actor at this point, because Joe Biden's got some health issues. I imagine that the excuse will be something other than, hey, I just had a series of strokes. But he had a series of strokes. That much is pretty self-evident. I do see Chad is working over on Rumble. BW, Trump needs to talk constantly about no tax on tips, no income tax. Agreed. He needs to ask Kamala's stance on Israel. She says, other than pro-Palestine, there goes the left. Other than Israel, there goes Jewish votes. Yeah, that wouldn't be perhaps as damaging to her. But he should ask that. Felix Fanboy Rico, I'm seeing Jimmy Carter not dead. Hoax or something. Yes, that is a hoax. BW, now there isn't going to be an open primary and all are behind her. Plus her anti-Israel stance, though she supported them before. You think it's in the bag. I think that Kamala will lose. I think that Trump will win. And the great Scalzini, I'm pessimistic about the general public and that they'll actually vote Kamala. Also, Brandon getting boosted on National Ice Cream Day is peak trolley. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I would say that I do not believe that Kamala Harris will win the general election. Right now, based on the polling, and we'll be talking about that separately, there's really no change in the polling. Harris loses about a point. That's basically the only change that you have. Let's get to the breaking news, though, first, before we go any further with anything else. Cheatle has resigned. This is the only predictable thing that's happened in the last couple of weeks within U.S. sociopolitics, actually. There was no way that she was going to be able to cling to her position as Secret Service head after what happened. She lost the Republicans. She lost the Democrats. She lost the FBI. The FBI was gunning for her, figuratively at least. The local PD was after her. Everyone fucking hated her. Even liberals were calling for her to resign. She no longer had any meaningful political allies. Nobody was circling the wagons for her. She's probably going to escape, though, what she should face, which is prosecution for her dereliction of duty. Now she gets a golden parachute and she gets to resign and go buy a beach house next to the Obamas or something. And I'm sure that she will. She'll get a nice pension and a retirement bonus and all of the other bullshit that she shouldn't have, and will be jollied on her fucking way. They'll give her a golden parachute because she did her job. Her job in that moment was effectively to ignore the fact that there was a threat against Trump. I do not believe that the Uniparty orchestrated an assassination attempt. I believe that this was a literal lone gunman, but they allowed it to happen. They stood aside when they realized there was a threat. They knew about it beforehand, and they did fucking nothing. They tried to allow Trump to be shot, and he was shot. It's just they didn't manage to kill him. Oh boy, that one hurts their re-election bid, by the way. The Uniparty allowed him to be shot, and she was part of orchestrating that. I can guarantee that. Throne blown. There's a castle for sale in Rutland on cheap. Oldhouses.com. Imagine a real client castle. They're selling Wilson Castle? I can't believe that. I can't believe that. That would suck, too, because they have nice tours there and stuff. And they have like the haunted castle thing around Halloween. I mean, I can't think of any other castles in Rutland. Yeah, it might be a little bit out of my price range, though. I imagine it's going for millions. Carl of RNG Podcast. Joe Biden's presidency is a classic story of the monkey's paw. Man failed so many times to be president, and once he gets it, it's the worst thing. BW, but I hear Trump isn't going to debate Kamala. You think that's wise? He'll debate Kamala. He'll debate Kamala. Don't worry about that. Sounder Siren, do you think Kamala helps down ticket? Slightly down ballot, it might help, but that depends on the next few months, what she does. She's not very personable, and she's not very good at public appearances and public speeches. It could help, or in the end, it could actually hurt. She's rated as less likable than Biden was. By the way, as before, I'm only going to be able to get to super chats generally as more people pile in, and Rumble rants that are $10 or above. Some exceptions will be made. Emperor Palpatine, Sticks, you had me thinking yesterday with the YouTube poops, Dr. Robotnik's Pingas machine and the King's birth dinner blaster always made me lol. Good times. Yeah, I liked anything Pingas related. Bocephus, Sticks, what do you mean Perlman goes insane? Little Ronnie has been insane since 2026 TDS plus biltong deficiency equals trouble. Yeah, he's been nuts for a while, but he came back to Twitter to be nuts on there, and so we're going to be talking about what he said. Of an anaconda, George Bush kaflubsed on Harold Ford Jr.'s face after the 2005 Democratic National Convention chairmanship election, in which your favorite governor Howard Dean was elected DNC chair. Yeah. So Cheatle has resigned. She is now gone. What do fuck over on Rumble? Do you think Jill Biden pulling a Nancy Reagan, hiding her husband, protecting his legacy, but 8 years too late? Yeah. I think that Jill carefully curated the people that were around Joe Biden in order to try to hide the fact that he had an obvious debility. With Cheatle gone, it'll be interesting to see who steps up in the role of the head of the Secret Service. I'm assuming the deputy director holds the interim there. Also, I don't want to hear myself speak here. I'll mute myself. I just posted my own video on this one. I wanted to talk about Biden's rally call the other day, the one for Kamala Harris. She gets up on stage. She does her inaugural sort of I'm the politician thing. And supposedly Joe Biden called in order to express his support. He sounded terrible. Some people are saying that this is AI. This morning I analyzed it. Again, link in the description. Not archive because it's my own fucking video analyzing it. And you should take a look after the live stream at that. So ramp it up, folks. I think that Joe Biden had a stroke or a series of strokes, probably mini strokes. And he's currently under medical guidance. I think that the stress of the Democratic Party mutiny probably helped to lead to this. And I think that they are keeping him from the public right now to cover it up. I think that he had several TIAs is what they're called, mini strokes, literally. Transient ischemic attack. And so that would explain the shuffling gait, the dragging of the feet, the confusion, his slurred speech in this call. That's just more evidence. I suspect that they'll blame it on something else, though. I don't think that they'll admit to the public that Joe Biden had a series of strokes. It'd surprise me if they did. It's possible. Maybe they'll come clean because now, Kamala's now the nominee, so, Biden matters less. But quite clearly, he had strokes. That is the only way that I can explain all of the symptoms that you see when he got off Air Force One on his way back during this call. So I don't think this is AI generated, although they did clearly edit it. I do believe it was pre-recorded, though. I can't imagine in the realm of 1,000 years, they would be insane enough to take someone who clearly just had several strokes and put them on a live phone call at Harris's first rally, because that would be a recipe for disaster. What if he has a TIA during the call and he starts talking Rackham Shackham mode or something like that? He just, drools off and goes crazy. That'd be bad. By the way, to everyone, Jimmy Carter is not actually dead. That is literally fake news. There was a Twitter post about that with a fake letter with regards to Jimmy Carter, and it is not actually true. At this point, it's even odds that Jimmy Carter outlives Joe Biden. I still think that he's outliving the guinea worms myself. Willpower. I respect that Cheeto didn't get the knee pads out for the Dems gun control rhetoric. I imagine headlines would be different if that was the case. Yeah. So yeah, Biden's phone call was pre-recorded. He has suffered a stroke or a series of strokes. That is a guarantee. I know the symptoms because I've literally seen people have strokes several times in my life. I can see the after symptoms are completely consistent with what we're seeing from Joe Biden in that clip of Air Force One, as well as in the phone call. Total consistency. Overlap completely. Yeah, Shilly Willy, he's terminal. That's possible. You got to understand, if you take action early in the wake of someone having a mini stroke, they can live for years thereafter. My grandfather actually had a TIA. He was already suffering from dementia at that point. Had been extremely fit for until he was about 80, actually. I mean, goddamn, he was a very long life. Lived to be 85, actually. And then dementia set in. But he survived for a couple of years after that. The problem is when you're at that age and you have mini strokes, the worry is that you're going to have the ultimate widowmaker, the big stroke, and that you're going to be incapacitated. That's probably why they demanded him to step aside. They're like, Mr. President, you are going to die under this stress if you continue. Let it go. Because if you die on the campaign trail or you have a massive stroke and then you can no longer walk, it's going to be real fucking hard for us. Do what's best for your country. That's what they told him. I guarantee that's what happened. But no, there are some people, they'll have a mini stroke. They'll live for years or even decades afterwards. There's that one video of that reporter, actually, and she was young. She looked like she was maybe 40 or something, having a transit ischemic attack actually on live TV. And she, she got treatment, and afterward, you put on warfarin and stuff. And she's still alive and kicking, still doing her job. It's just that, she's not 82 or 83 years old like Joe Biden is. By the way, another guarantee, in the wake of this, they are absolutely going to make age an issue in the campaign, which will be fundamentally very ironic because they ignored that issue before when Joe Biden was the presumptive nominee. Mind of a Madman 69. I think the only way they will come clean about Jover's condition is if they have to hide something worse. It pains the state to tell the truth. It burns them. Also, try finger butthole. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Mike the Wop Clank, motherfuckers. Yeah, I mean, Biden is doing the right thing. He's clearly not capable of running. And he's doing it more for the party than for the country than anything else. Yeah, come clean. Yeah, exactly. That's really going to happen because the Biden administration is so good at that. Yeah, Kankles will be the one that's running. Yeah, but keep in mind when somebody tries to bring up age as an issue in the election and say like, well, Trump could go Biden mode, or number one, he can't seek re-election if he is re-elected because it's his second term. Number two, he doesn't show any of the debility that Biden showed. And number three, it's not really about age at all. There are people that are at 90, they're perfectly functional. And there are people at 60 that are all fucked up. Trump ostensibly leads a relatively healthy lifestyle other than the whole McDonald's bullshit, and does not seem to have any issues with his cognition. That's not something that was the case for Joe Biden, even when he was seeking election in 2020. He was already slowed down, less than now. I mean, admittedly, we'll give him credit for that, but it was quite clear that cognitive problems were beginning to set in. We don't have any such indicator for Trump. Now, could he develop them in office? Absolutely. So could Kamala. Again, there are people at 60 that get all fucked up. So, yeah. Harris will be the nominee. Unless something catastrophic happens, and she will then proceed probably to lose the election. I still hold to the belief that it's a 99% chance that Trump is reelected. That's based on the polling that we're going to talk about more than anything else. I'd like to talk about Ron Perlman. Yo, Donnie, that dude, the Neanderthal-looking dude who's clearly deformed and fucked up and I think literally played a caveman at one point. They cast that role properly. Played, what's his name? That one Marvel hero or villain or something like that. I don't even know. I don't pay attention to that sort of bullshit. He decided to come back on Twitter after abandoning it for about a year. He said he was going to go use Threads. Well, nobody uses Threads, just like nobody uses Tribble or any of these other sites. The only alternative to Twitter is Gab, basically. And that's for more of a niche audience. That's the only one with any real engagement. All of the others fucking failed. And this is what he said to Elon. And it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. He returns to Twitter, and this is the first thing that he posts, and it's classic Ron Perlman. You know, we've got all those jokes about him wiping piss on his hand before shaking hands with, I think it was Harvey Weinstein, and he bragged about that. And he makes poo-poo pee-pee references. He's a very juvenile individual. And it's funny because, hey, Ron, I believe you've had your own relationship issues and not the too far past. Here's what he said. Yo, Elon. He always starts with yo. You sweating yet? Is your sphincter as tight as your vision? This is a quote. Are you starting to understand what it's going to feel like to be whooped by a woman who is anything but white? Okie dokie then. I don't understand exactly what this latter part of the reference is. I guess it's Kamala related or something like that. Like Kamala's going to come in and regulate Twitter or something like that. Ron, my dude, you got to calm down with the ass and pee-pee references. I mean, what the fuck? This is a real quote by him too. I fact-checked it. I thought it was a joke at first because you've got all those jokes where Ron Perlman's saying like, you know, like I shit in my water heater and now I'm drinking my own poop, or, you know, I just got raped in the ass and I bet nobody ever wanted to rape you, Donnie, or something like Trump derangement syndrome posting, usually involving shit and piss. But this one's actually real. And he had said that he was never coming back to Twitter, by the way. He comes back to literally just post this, and it's very puerile and strange, actually. I mean, it's strange even by Ron Perlman posting standards. And he blocked me, actually. You know, I have to run it through an archive or log out in order to even see what he fucking posts. I do not have a burner account on Twitter. Robert Jenkins getting ready to depart for Vermont, North Hero Island. Fishing, campfires, hunting for champ. Also drive to Jay Peak for trout fishing. Love and appreciation from Niagara Falls. Or Viagra Falls, you know? Jason Telesfero. Trump posted that the Biden-Harris administration did not properly protect him, but it was his great honor to take a bullet for democracy. Yeah, Trump is hamming it up a little bit at the moment. I mean, when you get shot in the head, side of the head, you probably deserve the ability to do that. Let's get to our sponsors before we continue. Our sponsors, we have cultivated-mind.com, where you can get some mushroom pills. They have several varieties available, some nootropics and stuff with reishi and chaga and things like that. I take it every morning. I notice a boost in energy. A disclaimer, for literal legal reasons, I can't claim that it's bioactive, even though it seems to be bioactive. In my anecdotal experience, it works really well. Actually, some mornings I no longer drink an energy drink. I just take the fucking mushroom pills. Do I seem lower energy? Nah, I don't think so. You know, you got to gas yourself up somehow, and I don't know exactly what the chemicals do, but supposedly boost ATP production in the cells. Well, that sounds good to me. Yeah, it's better than a multivitamin, I suppose. We've got pumpkinfirecrafts.us. You can get Sticks, Hex, and Hammer bookmarks, keychains, belt chains, engraved spoons, glassware, and much more, all available now. Some of it's made with steel, leather, glass, things like that. It's a very crafty site, actually. Lots available. Also, some non-Sticks, Hex, and Hammer merch available there as well. We have BiltongUSA.com, yes, or AntonsUSA.com, where you can get various meats. Unfortunately, it looks like the game meats are running low other than the bison, so they've got to try to scrabble together something to get like the elk and the kangaroo and all the other exotic ones. But trust me, I mean, just get the Wagyu and the Cabanassi and you're all set. It doesn't really matter. The Angus sticks are delicious. It's all delicious. Use code STICKS for 10% off, by the way. WickedNeedleEmbroidery.BigCartel.com, the land of Sticks, Hex, and Hammer hats. Various designs available, various colors available as well. People demanded those. When they saw me wearing one, I had like 100 fucking comments saying, where can I get one of those hats? Well, you can get it right there. HeritageHeirloomSeedCompany.com, where you can get seed survival buckets. A lot of the seeds out in the garden that were planted, those are from Heritage Heirloom. Most of them, actually. And also the land of Sticks, Hex, and Hammer soap with cedar, clove, and blueberry. And it smells amazing. I've still got a little bit of the bar left, so maybe like I can get 2 more showers in with it. I have to get some more of it, actually. Order a resupply. All their soap is good, though. And there should be a nice new variety of Sticks, X, and Hammer soap for the ladies available soon as well. So you can get that for a gift for your beau. Or if you happen to be a hot clanker woman, wash yourself with that. You'll smell like me. websterswares.com/sticks-wares, where you can get Sticks, X, and Hammer flags, metal straws. We've got knives. Yeah, really, really sharp ones. So be careful, please. Also, Trump paraphernalia and various miscellany available on their site as well. jamandbean.com. That is jamnbean.com. The land of Sticks, Hex, and Hammer endorsed coffee, especially the Costa Rica blend. It's fucking amazing. They've also got teas available. At first, I didn't even know that. I thought it was just coffee, but they've got coffees and teas and things like that. So just trust me. Get one bag of the Costa Rica blend, put it in, and brew it. Tell me that doesn't smell amazing. Yeah, it's definitely it's not Folgers or something like that. And finally, brickmuseum.com, based in Bellaire, Ohio, where you can see all sorts of cool Lego stuff. They've got a huge collection. They've got pictures of it on their site. It's a phantasmagoric. It's like a house was literally filled with nothing but Legos, and still got to go out there and see them at some point. I've got a lot of people to visit, a lot of traveling to do. Right now, I can't really do that. I mean, I always travel by Delta. We'll be talking about that. They're still down. They're still down for the count right now. Jay Reed, will the DNC convention be as crazy as 1968? There will be protests, but I suspect less than if Biden were the nominee. That's assuming they have a convention. Nobody special. Sticks, would you ever do a live stream with Razor? I've had him aboard election coverage, I think, twice now. But yeah, I would go on a live stream on his channel. Yeah, absolutely. Then people could stop pretending we're the same person. See, I have better taste in food. I understand that a steak should not be well done. It should be medium rare. I understand that pineapple on pizza is perfectly acceptable. And I understand that unless it's being used as a condiment, chili with beans in it is actually superior. Just saying. Just saying. I'm flexing on him. I think you'd like my chili better than Razor Fist chili. You've been probably my steak too. I'm just saying. Just saying. Anyway, we've got new polling. And for some people that are saying they're like doom pilling about Kamala, oh my God, she's going to gobble up more votes and stuff. No, if you look at the new polling, indeed, nothing has really changed. This is as of today, general election, Trump v. Harris. Trump is up +2. And Biden's job approval is at +10 disapprove. I don't know how his job approval can actually be that high, to tell the truth. But that's Rasmussen. They've been chronically oversampling Democrats due to their polling methodology. Quinnipiac, general election, Trump v. Harris v. Kennedy v. Stein v. West, Trump +4. And in a head-to-head, +2 for Trump as well. General election, Trump v. Harris from Forbes, Trump +6. Oh, that's actually higher, just to tell the truth. Georgia, Trump is at +5 by the Atlanta Journal. President Biden's disapproval +21 and +18 respectively from Forbes and Quinnipiac, with the Republicans taking the lead under Forbes for the generic congressional vote. Congressional job approval being 25%, which that's probably perfectly accurate. In fact, that might be an overestimate. And I'm wondering what the aggregate is right now for Trump v. Harris. Yeah, Trump is at +1.9. So basically unchanged from how it would have been if he was up against Biden. I would note that if you look at just the polling in the wake of the assassination attempt, Trump has a surge there as well, which is something that was indicated in polling back when Biden was the candidate as well. Bystander syndrome, pineapple on pizza, sacrilege. No, it's just a matter of how you put the pineapple on the pizza. If you're talking about big wet chunks, you're going to overload it with pineapple juice, and that's disgusting. It's going to get all drippy and weird. What you do is you take the thin sliced rings, keep them intact, by the way, and then you towel them off a little bit. You remove some of the juice, and then you put that in. Perfectly acceptable. It's like people will say, well, artichoke hearts are okay. Well, yeah, those are even drippier than the fucking pineapple rings, so there's no problem. I need to make pizza sometime. That's what I want to do. Or just buy pizza. I mean, even shitty pizza is still pizza. It's like usually I get Domino's because they're more customizable, and it's pretty good actually. I know that Domino's sucks in some places, but the local Domino's actually does pretty well. The local Pizza Hut actually does pretty well. I like that. Nice and garlicky. That's the way to do it. Jason Lane, will the success of an untrained 20-year-old weeb invite additional attacks? Reminder, Mayorkas is still in charge even if Cheatle fell on the sword. Possible. There could be copycat attacks. You know, somebody who just wants the clout. They brag that they think about how they'll go down in history. I was the one that brained Trump or something like that. The legacy media doesn't help with its hyperbolic rhetoric, by the way. Mr. Baker, Razorfist looks and sounds more like Spoony than you. Interesting. Happy water. AKA caffeinated beverages. Dark Knight, 1885. Have you seen Biden's memo rebuilding economic prosperity and opportunity for Ukrainians Act, delegating authority to Blinken and Treasurer? Well, he has to do that right now because nobody has confidence in Joe right now. I would note that delegating certain authorities is a fairly common practice for presidents of the United States. It's not evidence he's dead or anything like that. It is evidence that he has problems. Teresa 5, yeah, pizza. No, thank you. No corn on pizza. No. That's a step too far for me. No. It's just like when you have those weird, like a Mexican pizza or even Turkish pizza. Okay, it's not really a pizza, but no, it has to be Italian style. The Italians do pizza the best. Trust the Italians on that one. Mwah. It's got to be Italian. So it's like a white sauce pizza or something like with a cheesy sauce. All right, yeah, but it's not. I mean, it's not got any tomato sauce on it. It's not technically a pizza at all. Kind of. It resembles a pizza. It can still be tasty. I'm not saying that it can't be tasty, but no. I want red sauce and lots of it. Extra garlicky, nice smushy crust. I prefer black olives and or mushrooms and or artichoke hearts on pizza. Meats are fine. I'm not really a fan of chicken on pizza, especially not buffalo chicken. Tried that a few times before. But no, I know how to make pizza sauce like a fucking boss, by the way. And I make it sort of rustic style. I don't liquefy it with an immersion blender or anything like that. I smush it down with the masher and mostly homogenize it. But I like to have a little bit of like the tomato skin in it and stuff like that. And I keep it a little bit on the rustic side. This is, I believe, the way that Italians typically do it in actual Italy, if I remember correctly. What the fuck? Thankfully, retardy Oswald missed. If I leave a wad of cash on the hood of my car night after night, I should expect it to be gone one day. USSS was criminal negligence. Agreed. Also, another thing that goes on pizza, shrimp, actually. I like the little tiny brine shrimp on pizza. It's not my favorite. My favorite is with extra cheese and topped over with extra cheese, mozzarella specifically. Use a regular pizza cheese underneath on top of extra sauce. Then you put black olives, mushrooms, and artichoke hearts on and sprinkle a little bit of mozzarella over it. And you got to get that top crisped. No, too high. Jimmy Carter is actually alive. That is fake news. Yeah, maybe I should make a Jimmy Carter special just to tell people, no. There's still guinea worms in the world, so he can't die yet. In an alternate universe, a perfectly just one, because Jimmy Carter is genuinely a nice, likable guy. He wasn't a good president, but he's a good person. In a perfect world, they eradicate every guinea worm except for one, and they present it to him in a jar. And he does like a Rumble live stream where he snips its fucking head off. Those things are nasty. If you are eating, don't look up guinea worm injuries. Let's put it that way. All fucked up. Sparky, President Kamala might be able to use her Wallace Simpson level talents in foreign policy. Is she to live out the rest of her days relegated to trailer hitch chrome removal? Yeah, Harris, I don't believe has a very good chance of winning. If anything, it's probably lower than Biden's chances prior to what happened to Joe Biden. No guard, Coder Smith. All cooked pineapple is good. I agree. Roasted pineapple is fucking delicious. Pineapple should always be served hot. Medium rare steak is seriously overcooked, and beans waste valuable space in chili where meat could be. Oh, I meat it up. Trust me. I put loads and loads of burger in my chili. But having some black beans and kidney beans in there is mandatory in this household. Medium rare steak, seriously overcooked. I wouldn't agree with you on that one. Medium rare is the perfect steak. Medium is okay. If it's a hair towards medium, that's fine. Rare is okay too. Hell, I've had blue rare steak before. It's just a little bit too gelatinous. The juices aren't flowing, you know? Weird. Culture is a reflection of politics. What was last? This decade's entertainment a reflection of? Also, where do you see movies and shows in the next 5 years? They'll continue to devolve towards the lowest common denominator of human thought and cognition, generally speaking. What was this last decade's entertainment a reflection of? Decadence, more than anything else. Boredom. Dre Raven 3RVN. Now that Cheatle has resigned, will she go back to Frito-Lay or run for sheriff in Hazard County, Georgia? Who knows? She's got a bright career ahead of her after almost letting the former president of the United States get shot, killing in person and critically injuring 2 others. Sparky, greetings, fearless leader. Greetings. And a follow-up. After the assassination attempt, there's an acceleration of the can't beat him, join him dynamic. Hope Trump doesn't think he's won them over when they're as evil advisors. Yeah, but keep in mind, with all of the other things that have happened recently, the Democrats look like the chaos party. The Republicans look orderly. People are lashing back out because they tried to kill Trump, and it's quite obvious why that played out, et cetera, et cetera. I still think it's a huge advantage for Donald Trump. And then we've got new polls. Again, I just talked about them. Trump is well ahead in virtually every new poll, including against Harris. So I don't think, I just don't think he's going to have much of a problem getting reelected. Ego Mayhem. Wrong. Greek North Italian pizza, white, no sauce, ricotta, spinach. Only South Italians and Italian Americans use tomato excessively. Excessive? You can never have enough tomato sauce on the fucking pizza. Although I will say ricotta and spinach is, spinach on pizza is good, yeah. Jason Lane. In the scenario that Biden croaks, does Kamala get a sympathy bump after MSNBC runs wall-to-wall memorials for the late, great Joe? Would it be enough? It wouldn't be enough, and no, I actually don't think she'd get a sympathy vote. Aidhog. Hi, Sticks. I sent you a tip yesterday on X, something about potential issues with ballots in Wisconsin and Nevada due to the Dems playing switcheroo so late in the game. Is this fake news? My understanding is that because Kamala was on the ticket, if Joe uses the medical off-ramp that I've talked about for the last week, then she can still be on their ballots. But he has to do that. Imagine he screws him. Imagine he doesn't use medical incapacity as a reason, doesn't resign and just stays on as caretaker. Well, yeah, then they do jettison several states. Yeah, that's my understanding of it, at least. They'd litigate it endlessly in court, though. By the way, Delta is still down. And here's the interesting part with the IT outage, the CrowdStrike outage. I transited back to the United States via Delta 48 hours before it happened. If I had waited a couple of days longer, I'd currently be stranded in Amsterdam. That would have been a little bit of a problem. Southwest Airlines, the only one still fully operative, because they never downgraded their Windows experience. Everyone else did. And so Delta still has thousands and thousands of flights that aren't going out. And it makes me sad, actually. I like flying with Delta, short haul or long haul. It is really cozy when you're going across the Atlantic and you're on Delta, especially if you're riding in K class, business class, like I tend to do. It's actually, even though flying is an uncomfortable experience, I don't like being around all those people and, you're kind of cramped in the chair. The amenities that they do offer are considerable. Even if you're flying in economy on Delta, the amenities are decent. The food is reasonably good. The drinks are complimentary, etc. You can, occupy yourself with drunkenness or something. And they have onboard Wi-Fi. Some airlines still, they're behind the ball with onboard Wi-Fi. In some, they're not available at all, even if you pay them. With Delta, you get a free onboard Wi-Fi, which is kind of basic. It's just for like texting and stuff. Or you can upgrade it, which I do because I want to use Twitter and YouTube and stuff like that. It's actually not bad. Should run a speed test on a Delta flight next time I'm flying transatlantic, actually. I wonder actually what the speeds are. I mean, I'm sure they're not incredible or anything like that, but they're decent enough for my purposes. I actually like Delta. You know, I like flying with them, but right now you can't fly with them. Their flights are all down. I think they had the cancellations of the, let's see, as of 6 a.m. ET, the Atlanta-based airline had canceled 383 flights, and Endeavor Air, its regional carrier that feeds the system under Delta Connection brand, had canceled another 18. The cancellations follow more than 1,250 flight cancellations Monday and 4,500 flights from Friday through Sunday. God, imagine that. Frustrated passengers and crews. No shit. I can't imagine why they would be upset. It's not their fault, though. It's the administration of the airline deciding to use shitty software that's easily hacked is the problem. It's not the problem with the flight crews or anything like that. I've never had anything but a positive experience with their flight crews. They're all really nice, actually. Andrew Van Halen, margarita pizza is the best. Yes, topped with black olives and fungi and lots of artichoke hearts, plus a sprinkling of mozzarella toasted to perfection. I can't wait to have that again. Garageadelic Joannis. There was also a Trump mind virus that infected the minds of the evil, and they go crazy. Yeah, they got TDS. It's like literally a disease. We've got to start blood testing people to see if it's like contagious. Sparky, I'm not stepping down, Joe Biden. Okay, then will King George V you, the deep state, probably. Yeah, as of a few days ago, he refused to step down. He categorically denied that he was going to step down. Now he's saying he's not going to resign, but I have my doubts because he already backed down on the whole running thing. So when he addresses the nation tomorrow, it may be to resign. He may resign. Sparky, break it off in BlackRock, make Ukraine Russia again. Pooter, howdy sticks. Can you tell my friend Nelquan to stop griefing me in Minecraft and give me my $170? I'm in financial ruin now, and I'm using my last $10 to send this message. Clank. Nelquan, you need to give him his fucking money. I think that he stole money from you in the past as well. And now, finally, we have the probably biggest story of the day. Well, Cheatle resigning is a pretty big story, I suppose. It was predictable, but it's still big news. Harris has the delegates secured to be nominee. So all of this scuttlebutt about, no, Michelle Obama out of nowhere, Hillary Clinton's going to get it, all this stuff, shelve it. Harris will be the nominee. This was the only replacement for Biden that was even plausible. Because, again, as we've discussed, several states would not allocate delegates to you, electors towards you at all, if you didn't have someone who was actually physically on the ticket. And that relies upon Biden using the medical excuse in at least two of those states. I think those ones are Nevada and Wisconsin. In Georgia, I think he can come off as long as the other person on the ticket's still on. I think I'm getting it right. It's some combination of that. Anyway, at least two states. If it weren't Harris, because Biden has stood aside, then you literally physically couldn't win. It would be impossible. If you won the state, the electors just wouldn't have been seated at all. So it's going to be hard to hit 270 when you're jettisoning several important swing states. Your margin of victory gets a little bit shaved off at some point. Harris will be the nominee, unless she has a stroke or something like that, and she has to stand down or something like that happens. She'll be the nominee. Now it's a matter of guessing who her vice president will be. Well, not vice president, since she probably doesn't win, who her running mate rather will be. I can't tell you the answer to that question. My thought is Shapiro is Jewish. So, you know, with the leftoids being all Magaza, I doubt that she wants to choose him. She might have to, but I doubt it. And then Buttigieg is gay, so you'd have a double id poll ticket. There are other qualified individuals in there. The problem is none of them really have a lot of name recognition. A lot of people know who Josh Shapiro is, and a lot of people know who Pete Buttigieg is. But other than that, I mean, you can't choose Whitmer. That's double id poll. She's not going to choose Hillary Clinton because, she's the one that wants to be the one that you don't want walking behind you when you're walking down the stairs. She doesn't want Hillary to be that person. I highly doubt that it would be anyone from the current administration at all. The problem is there's so much baggage there that Kamala would be well-worn to try to distance herself from the administration entirely. And that doesn't, I mean, it doesn't really matter at the debate, assuming it happens at all. Trump can simply say, oh, aren't you border czar? Look at the border. You visited there twice. There's a lot of angles that Trump can pursue to attack her in a debate. And there are a lot of ads, I'm sure, that are being designed literally as we speak. But Harris does have the delegates now. She is the presumptive Democratic nominee. And she also has she has the quasi-incumbency that Trump has too. She's been part of a presidential administration. She's not been a president. And so Lichtman right now, he's ripping what's little is left of his hair out probably. But she does have a kind of sort of incumbency because she's been in that role. If Biden does resign, technically speaking, again, she gains a quasi-incumbency. She wasn't elected to the position, but she will have served as commander-in-chief for a brief period of time. By the way, please send no more super chats because I'm going to try to get in a little bit of ranting here, and then I want to go out in the garden and stuff like that. I've done a lot of work today. I had several outings earlier. Ego Mayhem, IT consultant here. CrowdStrike is so bad because of the root access given to the OS. The fix requires an IT guy on site with admin access to delete a file or run a script one by one. Nightmare. I don't know what half of that means because I can be a little bit tech incompetent. But tell me, I'll tell you, I was a whiz kid with XP. What do fuck? New York Times, Kamala Harris is the least electable Democrat. Yeah, she's not as electable as Joe. Here's the thing. Some people are saying, here's Joe and here's Kamala before. And some people are saying, well, Kamala's really risen up. She's more electable than Joe. That's not what happened. No, Joe tanked. So now she's above Joe. But that's not because she rose up. It's because Joe Biden fucking fucked off. That's the reason why. So when they try to astroturf the idea that there's this surge for Kamala, it's not reflected in any of the new polling post-assassination. That's very interesting. In fact, it shows her faring more poorly than Joe Biden in most of those numbers. King of Biltong, good morning from Anton's Meat and Eat. Free shipping for your Biltong using code STICKS on BiltongUSA.com and AntonsUSA.com. Get 10% off using code STICKS10 if your order already has free shipping. Clank. That's a good deal. And it is definitely worth it. Wasted Bonehead, good morning from the grave. Just came to confirm I'm not Joe Biden, you fuckers. And he's the only dead person not voting Democrat, by the way. Webster's Wares, morning clankers, get 33% off site-wide using code FIGHT at websterswares.com. Custom Trump and Sticks merch available, Sticks knives back in stock, and new merch on the way. Clank, baby. Yeah, those knives are hella sharp, as I learned the hard way. The hard and sharp way. Moot the cat. Trump rises, Biden withers. Kamala, the cackling Canadian crumbles. Why? The will of God and the goodness of Maytag blue cheese, Iowa's finest. Muddy Drip, elderly Trump supporter in critical condition after politically motivated attack. Daily Wire News. Huh. I didn't see that. DM me on Twitter. Maybe that'll make it into tomorrow's news docket. Sparky, incompetence was weaponized to make the told to be conspicuous by his handlers solo acting loser gunman seem plausible. Yeah, no, they let him through, basically. They knew that there was an active threat, and they did nothing. They let him take his shot, and thankfully he missed. Defying the meta. Tomatoes are native South and Central America, not Italy. Fact check me. That's okay. Although, I think you mean potatoes, though. I think you mean potatoes, not tomatoes. Yeah, I think that you're wrong on that. Let me look that up. Since we're just ranting anyway. Where were tomatoes first used? I think you mean potatoes. Yeah, they were used in South America, but Oh, you're right. I thought you meant potatoes. Oh, interesting. I remember that some Europeans thought that tomatoes were poisonous at first, actually. Well, thank you. You're welcome to the Italians for supplying you with delicious fruits. Huh. Damn. Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. I like both. My potatoes out there are a little bit dilapidated, but I think they will still get a haul. It's just I'm hoping that they're not fucked up underneath as much as they are on top. It's interesting. Sparky, President Harris can use her Wallace Simpson level oral talent when negotiating with foreign leaders. Yeah, imagine her in a diplomatic role. And she won't be able to be an absentee either. She'll actually have to take the floor. By the way, again, please send no more super chats. We have wasted. I'm voting for myself, and all of you should vote for me too. Vote Bonehead. Sparky, if it makes you feel better about J.D. Vance, remember he's not a hillbilly like Jed Clampett, since Jed's from the Ozark Mountains. J.D.'s from the Appalachians, you know, like Deliverance. I'm kind of from the Appalachians too. Rebel Embassy, is the CHIPS Act the biggest Biden-Harris win? No, I mean, their biggest partisan win technically is the Infrastructure Act. It hyper-cooked the economy, but at least liberal voters, they responded well to it. Yeah, I didn't know that tomatoes were... I could have sworn that they were from the old world. I thought it was potatoes that originated in the... I got them mixed up. Goodness. Saxon Violets. Fried green tomatoes are delicious. Disagreed. I've had them before and I fucking hated them. I don't see why you would eat green tomatoes when you could just wait until they're ripe and they're so much better. Yeah, I can't do the fried. Also, that was a shitty movie. I had to watch that when I was a kid. That crazy, like, kind of weird romantic comedy, Fried Green Tomatoes. Don't bother watching it. 2 out of 10 at best. Couple of entertaining moments, and that's all you get. F. Winters Lodig, if Biden doesn't resign, shouldn't he be impeached for treason for insisting to stay on despite knowingly be a liability and hiding it from the public? Yes, but they won't remove him from office. I suspect that tomorrow when he comes out and addresses the nation, there's a decent chance that he announces his resignation. Yeah, corn came from the New World. Yeah. I like grilled red tomatoes. Grilled red tomatoes are delicious. And grilled peppers. Oh, yeah, that's the way to do it. You get some nice red peppers and you grill them up alongside your steak. Sort of boil them in the juices. Yeah. Granite State Man. Potatoes are from the Andes Mountains in Peru and tomatoes are from Mexico. Huh. Yeah, a lot of, it's amazing to think, like, 1,000 years ago, how different the European diet would have been, actually. A lot of the things that are cooked now over there and are considered native didn't exist. Same as in the New World. Of course, there was definitely trade in the other direction as well. Like horses, they came from Spain. They weren't in the New World, although the Mormons disagree for some reason. Irritated Kitty. Every YouTube video has cackles saying Orange Man is an existential threat. They're trying to brainwash everyone. Yeah, it's not working, though. They've shot their load on that one over and over again. Sparky couldn't resist making fun of JD. The hillbilly thing isn't troubling. The Yale and Thiel connections are a bit concerning. Slightly. I'll give him a chance. What do fuck? Bell peppers, hot ones too, are native to the New World. Yeah, peppers are pretty cool. I've got so many of them out in the garden. In fact, I'm going to go offline. I will be live tomorrow, of course, with the news. And then I'll also be live with the quartering at 1 p.m. But right now, I want to go out and see my garden. It got freshly rained on, so it's probably looking pretty squeaky clean. And there's probably, another 10,000 tomatoes that have ripened in the last few hours. I picked some this morning. Absolutely delicious. And the aromas are starting to turn yellow as well. So it's going to be some good shit. All right, everyone. Thank you to the over 6,000 people who tuned in live. Again, I will get with the news tomorrow. Of course, do my morning videos and everything. That's about all. Peace out.